Next, we will have Jingles Lost Her Jingle, Tammy Kennedy.
Thank you. One of the things I was thinking about as I was listening was so many of us have been through a lot of stuff. And wow, what talent and stuff have come out of the trauma that we've gone through. And so count it all joy, as God says. The book I wrote is because of the same thing. I was born in '64, and this was, long before Oprah and all those people were doing shows on child sexual abuse. And I began being abused probably by the time I was 3. My mother was schizophrenic and an alcoholic, and I love her. I love her now so much. God has helped me learn to forgive and love her, which was a huge part of my healing. But anyway, I ended up in mental hospitals, diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder, just all kinds of mess, and could not recover. I started cutting and burning myself at 8, and like I said, there was nobody doing shows to help me understand why did I have this need to hurt my body. I hated me. I hated me. And even into my 30s, I could not get well, and I was doing all the right things. I was going to counseling, going to Bible studies, and I loved the Lord, and I just couldn't figure out. And I learned that I was believing a lot of lies. They were deep-seated lies. And so people would say, "You're beautiful, you're sweet, you're smart." And the first thing I'd think of was, "No, I'm not." And I wouldn't necessarily tell you that, but my first thought is, "I'm ugly. You don't know, da-da." I was believing. And so the book Jingles, it's a story. It's interactive story where somebody would walk the child, if you have a family member or somebody, you would walk her through it, sort of like Dora the Explorer when you go back through. And so she's believing I am bad, I'm dirty, it was my fault. And so you see kind of the story, but then you and whoever you're walking through the book, you'd go back and look at the truth. And so the purpose of the book is to find the truth. And that's what had to happen to me, is no amount of therapy could work. I had to let the Lord put the truth inside my heart. I am not bad. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am precious. And it took a long time, because I had gotten in a rut of just being addicted to cutting and food and all that stuff. And once I started tackling the lies and believing what God says about me, everything changed. And now I am the happy. No one would have ever thought 20 years ago that I would not be living in mental hospitals. And now and I went and got my master's and became the therapist in a mental hospital rather than the patient they wouldn't let out. So praise the Lord. So that's what the book is about. There's another one coming out for boys. It's Little Jimmy Lost His Jam, and he was abused, but he's going to learn the truth that of what God says about him. So anyway, that's the book.
Now we will have Belva Dorsey from the Enrichment Services.
Good morning. I'm not an author, so I told Pam that I really didn't have to speak today. But I just want you to know that Enrichment Services program is in the community to serve. And so if there's anybody who needs to be served or needs some assistance, I have a couple of brochures available. We provide early Head Start services, for pregnant women and children from birth to 3. Head Start services for children between 3 and 5. And when I say children, we also serve the entire family. We also offer energy assistance. So I'm sure some of you have heard of us, but if you haven't, we offer energy assistance, nurse aid training, and other services to help families become self-sufficient. So again, we're here to serve, and if you have any questions, I'll be available later. Thank you.
Now I will have Alberta Harvey, My Thoughts on Prayer.
This is Alberta Harvey, and I published my first book. It's My Thoughts on Paper, and it's a poetry. And I always felt poetry touches the heart. And so if you're interested in poetry, like poetry, you can get a business card or find out how to contact me and enjoy some poetry. I can read the first poem in the book, which is a smile. A smile is like a beam of light, for it can pierce the piercer's flight. A smile is like a wave so slight, yet it can make the eyes so bright. A smile is like a crescent moon at night, but it will bring the heart a warm delight. A smile is like a funny joke, but it can bring a spark of hope. A smile I send to you, a smile returned by you, can lift you up to heights way beyond your reach. Smile.
Now we're going to go ahead and call up Miss Rhonda Miller. I've got a testimony. I've got a testimony.
I've Got a Testimony is the name of the book, and it is actually a compilation of many testimonies. Actually, 13 people have contributed to the book, I've Got a Testimony. The book is awesome. Once you read it, you will not be able to put it down. It's going to make you cry. It's going to make you laugh. It's going to make you think. It's going to make you pray. So I encourage you to read the book and become encouraged. The purpose of the book is to put God on display, is to glorify Him and to let us know that God is able. He's a healer. He's a guide. He's direction. He's light. He's help. He's support. He's everything that we need. And the people from the book have put their hearts on paper. They have put their hearts on paper to let us know that if God did it for me, He can surely do it for you. I want to share just a few of the titles and some of the brief description. One of the chapters is Stay Focused, and how could she come back to God after being away from Him for so long? Another chapter is Rejection. The name of the chapter is Rejection. The name of the testimony. My father would run us away from home, and we would hide in the woods until we thought it was safe to go back to my parents' house. Another testimony, God's divine purpose. God brought me through rejection, loneliness, and the obstacles that I faced in my education. And there are more. So if you want to read this, I really encourage you to do so. I want you to let you know that the proceeds from the sales of the book will go to organizations that help women who have been sexually abused. And the first organization that I want to contribute to is called Operation Butterfly Wings of Hope, and the director of that is Terry Hasty. And so I thank God for the opportunity to be a blessing to that organization and many others. Thank you.
Now we will have brown bag poetry. We have here the original author is Terry Lyles, but she's in Baltimore. Yes. So her daughter, Nikki Crapper, will be representing her mother. Let's give her a hand.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Good. Wonderful. Today, as she said, Miss Pam, the mother, is in Baltimore right now on sabbatical, and I'm here in lieu of her. This is one of her many books that she has out now. She has 6, and she's in progress of one more right now called Peeling Back the Mask. This one was entitled Brown Bag Poetry because back in some time, there were days when we wanted to buy certain things we didn't want other people to know about, so they put it in a brown bag. Well, my mother ripped that brown bag open, put it in a book, and made it bad for you to read. It's funny, it's humorous, it has some short stories as well as essays. It has some Christian funny little things in it, but it also tells the truth about some things you don't want many people to know about. But if you want a good, interesting read, whether you're sitting on the throne or whether you're sitting in your easy chair by a bay window, Brown Bag Poetry. And I have some of her other books here as well called Say It Ain't So, Speechless, Confessions, Wild Words of Wisdom, and a biography that she wrote by a nice, notable, humble man, a veteran here in Columbus. And thank you so much. That's Brown Bag Poetry by the authoress Terry E. Lau. Her website is TerryLyle.com, and her telephone number is 443-956-8753 if you would like to reach her. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Unity with Pam Willis Hovey is being brought to you by these sponsors.
Come into Chester's Barbecue for our world-famous mouth-watering ribs, smoked fresh on our grill daily. Or try one of our barbecue pork plates with fresh sides. Chester's has delicious sandwich combos to choose from that are sure to please. We also serve tempting home-cooked favorites. And don't forget to take home your own bottle of great sauce. Chester's Barbecue, serving the best food at the best price, with 3 locations to serve you.
You love your parents, and it's hard to see them struggle to keep their independence. Magnolia Manor can give your parents the assistance they need to enjoy life. You won't have to worry if they are eating well or taking their medications properly. And they'll be in a safe, secure environment with no need to worry about cleaning house or doing yard work. Visit magnoliamanor.com to learn more. Magnolia Manor, just down the road. A community of convenience, caring, and fun.
My name is Japal. 2 years ago, I received a kidney transplant. When I was 21 years old, I started dialysis, and for 7.5 years, I was a patient receiving treatments 3 times a week for 4 hours each session. And man, it was hard. After receiving my kidney transplant, I was able to find and marry the love of my life. My kidney transplant gave me my life back.
You have the power to donate life. Be an organ, eye, and tissue donor. To find out how, go today to donatelifegeorgia.org.
When Bill Larson's brakes started squeaking. When Pam Summers' check engine light went on. And before Tom headed out on vacation. They all came here. Midas. Total car care. Total customer care. That's the Midas touch.
Enrichment Services is giving a young child in our community a head start on kindergarten. Enrichment Services is providing a nutritious meal for senior citizens. Enrichment Services, a host of educational and assistance programs to benefit all ages.
It only takes one wrong decision to become that guy. You know, that ridiculous guy whose pictures are posted on this site and that site. You don't have to be that guy. Generations have gotten their prom tuxedos from Henri's because they trust us to make sure they look their best. We're the only one in town with an in-house collection. You can try on an actual tux and accessories to be sure you get the look you want. No last-minute surprises. Make the smart choice. Visit on henristuxedos.com or find us on Facebook and get your coupon for $30 off your prom tuxedo rental.
All right, we're getting ready. Freedom, Love, A Book of Healing, Kelly Armstrong.
Hello. My name is Kelly Armstrong, and I'm a minister of the gospel, motivational speaker, and author. Author of Freedom Love. My reason for writing Freedom Love is to help hurting people, letting them know that I understand what they're feeling, what they're going through. There's a lot of people that go through in life different struggles, different bondage, and letting them know that they can overcome the obstacles that goes on in their life, that can turn out with happiness, peace, and joy, with their spirits lifted, knowing that Jesus is the answer. Knowing that Jesus is the answer to all problems in life, and know that they can always have hope and fulfill their dreams of life, knowing that there is a brighter side and you can come out of that darkness. I have struggled in life myself. I write from my emotions. I've been writing ever since a little girl, and I have speed up on my writing in the last couple of years, going through some struggles myself. The most recent struggle is the passing of my brother that happened a little over a year ago, a tragic accident, my only brother, and my family and I are still struggling with that. So that actually sped up my writing. I would like to share a poem out of my book with you. There's a lot of encouraging poems. All these poems, I call it Freedom Love, a book of healing poems. These poems are actually, there's healing in these poems. God has inspired me to write these poems. Every last poem, and a lot of these poems were in the middle of the night with tears behind it when I pick up that pen and I start to write. I want to share one that says positive attitude. Today is the day that I will do my best and make sure I focus to pass each day's test. Today is the day that I will change my mind and leave all the negative thinking behind. Today is the day I want to be free and not let the troubles get to me. Today is the day I want to stand and sit at the throne of God's right hand. Today is the day I will put my foot down and encourage myself when I really want to frown. Today is the day I will no longer doubt in spite of my enemies who stand about. Now let me see. How will I start? First, I must change my heart. I will start meeting friends that want to achieve and know and trust God and always believe. I will show love and respect because that is the key. I will walk in excellence, you see. I will always strive to become a better me. I will reach for the stars no matter how hard it seems and fly like an eagle in the knowledge that it brings. So you see, it's not impossible. You must take life day by day and do the right things as I travel the way. With Freedom Love Poetry, you will find your spirits lifted, your heart filling with joy, and allow this poetry anointed by God to break the bondage in your life and make a change for the better. And I pray that you enjoy my poems and read my book. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Pam, for allowing this opportunity.
Now we will have The Chosen Generations, Kimberly D. Graham.
Good afternoon, everybody. My book, the pollen, the seasons are changing, and so I'm feeling it. The name of my book is called The Chosen Generation, and this book talks about using your God-given gifts for the purpose they were intended. We are all gifted, and God wants us to use it to increase his kingdom. Everybody's job is to reconcile other people back to Christ. And when we use our gifts for the purpose they were intended, that will happen. It also talks about dealing with, as a lot of other people have already said, dealing with those tough issues that we typically sweep underneath the rug. If we don't deal with them ourselves, then all we can give is brokenness, because we have to be whole in order to give up wholeness. And the last thing it really talks about is being a participator in life and not just being a spectator. A lot of times we watch everyone else do what they do, and we sit back and we say, gosh, I'm able to do this or I'm able to do that, but we allow fear to stop us from doing what God has called us to do. And so it's time for us to not be spectators, but to be participators in life. And there's one little paragraph I want to read, and the chapter is called Don't You Dare Look Back. It says, you have to decide not to be a victim and to be victorious no matter what you have been through. You have to make up your mind to be successful and confident, not giving your lack a place to dictate your success. When you make up your mind to change and be who you were created to be, success will happen. Once your mind is made up, stay the course, renew your mind daily, and do not look back. The Chosen Generation.
Unity with Pam Willis Hovey is being brought to you by these sponsors.
Come on in to Sugga's for a sweet taste of Southern cooking. You will be taken back to Sunday dinner at Grandma's house with every bite. Daily specials serving fried chicken, collards, black-eyed peas, also melt-in-your-mouth cornbread. You will want to ask for seconds. Also try one of our homemade desserts. You will be in sweet, sweet heaven. Sugga's offers catering for all your corporate, church, and family gatherings. They will do all the work and save you all the trouble. Sugga's, a taste of Southern cooking.
Taylor Funeral Home, a live-in service for the living. It's a family affair. Our family serving yours. 1514 5th Avenue in Phoenix City, Alabama.
When you've been hurt in an accident, it helps to have experienced and knowledgeable attorneys to help you in your time of need. For over 30 years, our office has been helping victims in auto and truck accidents or with work-related injuries. We resolve thousands of cases both in and out of court. So if you've been hurt and it wasn't your fault, talk to Walt.
Talk to Walt.
Habla con Walt. Talk to Walt.
For more than 60 years, the Dairy Queen recipe for success has been simple. It's been a combination of hardworking people, great tasting food, and tempting treats served in our establishments every day. Although a lot has changed in 60 years, some things remain the same. The smiles on children's faces, a treat for a good report card, close friends enjoying a great meal, and families spending quality time together. Here at DQ, we are always committed to treat you right.
Why Chalmers?
We manage the details so that businesses don't have to. Our expert consultants understand the individual needs of all of our clients.
We're here for you.
It's great to have the business support of Chalmers. They handle my bookkeeping, payroll, and collections. Now I have more time to dedicate to my customers.
Your success is our success.
With affordable rates for payroll, bookkeeping, collection, and IT services, Chalmers can ease the stress of running a business.
Chalmers Support Services. What you can't do, we can.
Hello, this is Pastor Willis of the Move of God Ministry. We come to welcome you to be a part of our ministry. This is not a put on, but this is a come on. And we come to share in our different ministries with our dance team, with our choir, and our TV ministry. And we're looking for great things to happen, great miracles to happen within this place. Come and be a part of the blessing plan.
Welcome back to us again. And I'm saying welcome in your restaurant, but still welcome on Unity with Pam Show on site at Sugga's.
What I decided to do today is to do a peach cobbler. Since so many people love the peach cobbler here, I decided to let the little secret out since I won't let anything else out for you. Yeah, so the peach cobbler, you'll be able to go home. Now, I can't promise you it's going to taste like it does here because I'm cooking with love. Not saying you're not, but, you know, I got a little extra in me, so I can't say that it'll taste the same. But you can try. So I'm willing to give it to you today so you can go home and try it and see what happens. Make sure you call me and let me know. And you're going to ask me what you're missing, and then I'm going to tell you you're going to have to come back up here and buy you some. You had your one chance today. Okay, what we have today, we have peaches, and canned peaches is fine with peach cobbler. Canned peaches are fine. I have flour, water, regular sugar, light brown sugar, butter. Now, this right here is a little fattening. You know, I try to keep it healthy, but every now and then we got to have something that we just really, really enjoy that might be a little fattening.
She told you the word was fine and thick. It was fine and, that's fine and thick butter. That's it. That's to mix it around. Hallelujah.
Okay. We have nutmeg, cinnamon, and the secret to it is mace. If people are not aware of it, but you use mace, and mace gives it the kick that you taste when you come in and people are like, well, what is it? It's the mace. But you have to be very careful with the mace and the nutmeg, because if you don't mix it right, then you'll have a disaster. So you have to be very careful. So what we'll do, this is a 24-ounce can of peaches, what we have here. I leave the juice in. To keep that sweetness in there that has been put in there. Then we have roughly, depending on how many, like this, making this small one, we have like a half a cup of water. We'll mix that in also. Then right here, what I do, I just take a little sugar, mix it in there, about a cup of sugar. We have to save a little bit for the top. Then we have the brown sugar, same thing, about a cup, but you save a little bit for the top after you finish with the crust. And the brown sugar, you need to save a little bit more of it than the regular sugar, because if you put too much regular sugar on top of the crust, it could get too hard. So you have to be very careful with that. Then we have cinnamon, roughly about a tablespoon, depending on the size of the peach cobbler that you're making. Nutmeg, about a half a tablespoonful. And the mace, we'll say about a teaspoon of it. And then you can mix it up. And then you can check it and see how it goes. And the butter. Now that right there, the butter, that's where a lot of the taste comes in there too. You got to be able to put butter in it. So if you want to stay healthy every day, don't eat it. Don't eat it. But you got to get that butter in there. Got to put that butter in there. That butter gives it the taste that you need.
That's that fine and thick taste. Understand that.
Exactly.
That help you with hams.
So after we put all that in there, we're going to go ahead and the flour. Now the flour you have to be very careful with also, depending on the size. I'll say roughly about a tablespoon of flour with this particular size right here. And then you just basically put it all together and mix it up. Make sure it's blended in.
Self-rising flour, all-purpose flour?
Self-rising flour. I'm using self-rising flour. I like to use self-rising flour for everything here at the restaurant. I just use self-rising flour. And you give it a good mix, and you can kind of leave the butter like in those hunks like that to make sure that it gets in there. Then after you mix it up, what you do, you take the pie crust. You can get ready-made pie crust, and you can put it on. What you do with the first, it comes in tubes, so what you do with the first pie crust, you lay it on as like the cover. And these come in the parchment, so I tried to cut it so it'll go. You lay it on, but you fit it in accordingly to whatever the actual dish is. So I'm just going to break this off and lay it in here. You kind of try to cover the whole peach cobbler. Then what you do, you go back with the top layer. And the top layer, you can do just whatever you may feel like doing. Like with this particular one right here, I did the lattice look. This is the finished product. I did it like a lattice look here. I put the whole complete at the bottom, and then I cut it and made it kind of look like a little fence. I call it the little fence. But you can make any kind of design you would like. And it takes roughly about an hour for it to cook and be good and done, and the crust is good. And what you do, like I said before, with the crust at the end, after you've laid everything on, you take just a little bit of sugar, because you have to be careful with that. It makes it too hard. But then the brown sugar, you can do what you please with it. You can put it on the top to your liking. And then we go right back with the butter again. And we just put a little butter on the top so that crust can be nice, buttery, but yet crispy. And you can spread it around. And that's it.
Let's give Miss April a hand. Are you going to do another dish for us? Okay. Well, she said, and let my people know real quick, but you also do catering.
Yes, we do catering. We can come on site, or the building is actually available. We do an array of foods. We're not just Southern cooking. A lot of people think that we're just Southern cooking, but we're not. We can do different types of foods. Just give us a call, 706-221-1732. And if you're interested and you may want something that's out of the ordinary, just call me and we can get together and we'll make it happen.